What's up, everybody, and welcome back. This is the Confused Manly Men League
Show Season 2.
Season Dose. We're back.
Man.
We know you've missed us a lot. We're so glad to be back with you.
Can't believe we've made it to Season 2.
I can't believe it either. And it was a huge hit last year. Thousands and thousands of watches. Lots of people checking it out.
Jordan watched it like 800 times himself.
He did.
Hey, you know what I'm excited to do?
What are you excited to do, man?
I'm excited to let all of you guys know, our dear friends, our league compatriots know just how awful your teams really are. They're so bad.
Yeah, I had a feeling you'd say that. Yeah,
I
I don't know that we can do that this year. Because
we can
remember
all
what
do that.
happened last year?
No, I don't.
We talked about how terrible their teams were last year.
Yeah.
And then my whole team got hurt immediately. And then you went through an entire season and had the most heartbreaking loss possibly of all time.
Of all time. My little heart was broken.
And listen, we're going to talk a lot more about that. We're going to talk about our follies, our mistakes, those types of things.
We don't have any.
We don't have any. But we're going to jump in first and foremost talking about a little segment that we like to call That Sucks.
Oof.
And we're going to highlight a couple of things that really sucked over the last year, even in the off season, whatever it may be for your team. So, first off.
Things no one can control.
Yeah.
Things that you and I, we just can't control. We're just mere humans.
For sure. And this one has been in the headlines recently. So, Ben, why don't you take the first one?
Cam Akers going out with an Achilles. Brutal.
Achilles.
Achilles?
David,
Achilles.
we're so sorry, buddy.
Dude, that
Listen,
sucks.
we knew you were excited about all these young running backs. Somehow
Yeah.
you stole Akers from Ben for Chase Claypool?
No, not me, Bork.
I'm sorry, Bork.
I would
For
never give up.
Yeah, no.
I would never
Chase
do it.
Claypool. And you had
Yeah.
these running backs and you're going to start and you were so excited.
Yeah.
Another
There was
3-11
hope,
season.
right? He had hope.
You had hope.
And you still do, because you got the draft in front of you, you got, Dobbins, you don't have anything else, but you got Dobbins, you got hope. Always
You're going to
have
get to
hope.
spend $90 on a rookie running back? You're going to be excited. It's going to be good.
Let me
But
tell you what super sucks, though, about this.
What?
Like, this is one of those things where, David's going to have to make his own decision if he keeps him for free or not. But, man, him coming back from that injury, he'll play in the NFL.
Yes.
But being a fantasy viable player.
Yes. History is not on his side. That is for sure. So
No.
history is not. Second thing that we have that sucks is drafting CEH over Jonathan Taylor, also known as Tay-Tay, and spending $30 more on it.
Tay-Tay. What a Bork-like move. Bork-like move. So this is the way I imagine this happening, right?
Okay.
So Bork is driving in his car every single day, listening to the fantasy footballers or wherever he listens to them, right? And all he hears them saying is like, CEH, 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 right? And he just looks at some videotape of each of them, some highlights, and he sees like, wow, there's this really big, fast guy that runs over everybody and can go to the house and his name's Jonathan Taylor. But this guy that really doesn't show up on tape, he must be something.
Yeah, and to Bork's defense, almost all fantasy pundits were like, yeah, he's a top 10 pick. He's all these things. And so Bork was like, let's show out. Let's go for it. But luckily, he did get Swift for like $16 or whatever it was, a super cheap price. So he got 2 rookie running backs last year. We'll see what happens this year. But that really sucks.
Yeah. Young RB too, right? There's hope.
Yep.
There's hope for CEH. It's just funny to make fun of him.
Yep.
All right, our next one is, this is yours. This is yours. So at this one time at the beginning of the season, during the stimulus, right, there was this trade that happened that I think all of us were like, what was this one guy thinking about? And it was Saquon Barkley, Saquon's himself, and Courtland Sutton for Le'Veon Bell. And who else did you throw his way? Was that it?
Hopkins. I threw Hopkins.
Oh, you threw Hopkins. For Le'Veon Bell and Hop. And at that time, this looked like a landslide deal for you.
I thought it was going to be a championship-winning trade. I thought, finally, my curse is over. My trade curse is over.
It's over.
It wasn't
right?
over.
Training camp, Courtland Sutton having a great camp, injures himself, out for the season. Saquon's game 2?
Yeah.
Maybe game 1, I don't know.
It's
out for the season 2. Both of your players out for the season. That really sucks. I know you were looking forward to them. But the good news for you is you got them both this year. You can keep them.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. All right, next up, I have the heartbreaking loss that Ben took to Ryan last year. You go 11-3. You have the most points that are scored. Season looks great. Your team looks unstoppable. You have a team that you can't even assemble anymore because they cost too much. Doesn't matter what you do. They cost too much. It's one of the best teams we've ever seen put together. Kudos to you.
Dude, it was
and guess
amazing.
what? It doesn't matter.
Hey, you know what? If you go back and you look at all the
Yeah.
variables of a winning team, right? Like Alvin Kamara, 6 touchdowns on championship weekend.
I thought you had it.
I thought it was done.
I thought it was
right?
done. I was like, he's
Done.
won.
Picking up James Robinson
Oh.
in the preseason, you would think that my team was going to win everything. And no, I lost. I lost to Ryan, too.
Especially to Ryan.
Good job,
oh,
Ryan.
Man.
Good job, man.
He's
Tip
the
my hat
worst.
He's the champion, so I give you
And
credit.
the worst, also.
It was painful.
All
It was
right,
painful.
next up is just some in the news type stuff. Amari being on the pup. Bork just traded for him. So now it's kind of the question of, like, is he going to be healthy going into the season? It looks like he is, but are we sure? These things nag and they hang on a little bit longer. And then D-Hop, the anti-vaxxer, he's against it. And
saying maybe he's not playing.
Barry doesn't have a lot to work with. Or, I'm sorry, Christian doesn't have a lot to work with. And then he loses Hop as well.
Yeah, and he's
Possibly.
a big fan. He's a big fan of Hop, right?
He's a big,
so
he's a big Hop fan.
That's a hard one. So I think the lesson I think you talked about is Barry the trade wizard, which we'd all say no. But what Barry is,
he is the trade wizard.
If he trades somebody to you, good chance they're not going to play.
Yeah,
Good chance
they're going out soon.
Yeah,
you better know that.
Sooner rather than later, that player is not going to be playing at all.
Yeah, my next one up on that sucks is just Jerry. Like, the dude barely pays attention. He doesn't talk. He jumps in every so often. Every once in a while, he'll send you a trade request and then ghost you after he sent the trade request.
Jerry.
And so, Jerry doesn't care. He's old. He's got things growing out of his head. He's got all kinds of things that are happening to him.
Do you guys want to see that picture again?
Add that picture in. No, Jordan just turned it off. We're just kidding. We're not really
no.
going to add it, Jordan.
Yeah.
But Jerry always seems to find fantasy mojo.
He's the fantasy mojo.
He's never counted out.
Yeah. What would you said? What did he start again? You said
he lost 4 out of the first 5 games last year. Lost his first 3 in a row.
1-4 to start the season, right? We only go to 13 games total in our
14.
regular season.
He goes 9-5.
games?
So that means from weeks 6 on, he lost 1 game.
That's crazy. And you know what's really nuts is if you look at that team, it was not a great team by any means. But Jerry does it. I mean, I don't know what to say. Jerry. He gets his guys together. He teaches X and O's. He teaches fundamentals.
Yes.
He gets them inspired.
He's the Bill Belichick.
He's the Bill Belichick, and he has them playing in the right place at the right time, and they win. He is a frustrating guy to play fantasy with because, like you said, he doesn't seem to care. But he's going to compete every year.
Just ends up in great situations all the time. And our last, that sucks.
This would be, Jeremy. I felt so bad for him. He had like this team that looked like it was going to be a monster again because the year before that he was the monster.
Yes.
Right? Looked like
he won
he
the championship.
Jerry,
Jerry of course took that.
Jerry of course took it. You can't do anything against it, right?
Nope.
Can't fight fantasy mojo. But I think consensusly going into the season, he was pretty much everybody's number 1.
Yep.
Right? And why wouldn't he be? He had CMC, he had Mix, he had a great team, and CMC and Mix played a little bit, but CMC just gone. Dude, if you lose a guy that can throw up 30 points a game, who can do 30 points a game like consistently?
At the running back position? I mean, him and Cook maybe.
Yeah. I mean, this dude.
But
is
him above everybody else.
Yeah, if he's on the field, that's 30.
Yeah,
it's a 30 bomb, right?
He's
high
incredible.
20s, 30. He just lost him. Heartbreaking. That sucks.
Jeremy's team should have been a lot better last year than it was.
Dude, he still scored.
It's not his fault. He did. He still made the playoffs. Third place.
No, he was close.
I'm sorry. He got 5th place. He was.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a second. But hey, we want to throw some league facts your way real quick.
Let me give you props. Brandon found these fun facts. They are really fun.
And we're going to be sprinkling these in kind of throughout the process here so you can hear a couple of things that happened last year. It'll add some context to things. That's what we're trying to do is add context, help you guys understand what went on in our season last year.
Context to help you understand how bad your teams are, how bad you are at fantasy
great.
football.
Your teams are great. Your teams are all going to be very, very good. I need some mojo.
Yeah.
Okay, our first one is last year we had three 7-7 teams.
That's mind-blowing to me.
So if you think about it, there were 7 teams last year who all finished 500 or above.
That is actually a lot of league parity. So the 3 teams that finished below 500, obviously let's say their names. It's Barry, Christian, and Hansen, right? So for those teams, they are in. If you look at their team, like their teams going into this season, who knows what happens, right?
Yeah.
But if you just look at their teams, you would say that they have probably the least amount of great keepers, right?
Especially if you take away Akers.
Yeah, and then
and D-Hop, who knows?
And then there's this great jumble of 7 other teams that should be all competing with one another. But you never know. Fantasy Mojo, you don't know how seasons are going to break. But that's crazy to me that 7 of our teams were 500 and above in a 10-person league.
That's right. All right, you got our next fun fact?
I do. Oh, man. Which one am I? Am I the first round? Oh, yes. Man, this was amazing that you found this. The first round of the playoffs were won by a total. Both games were won by a total of 4 combined points.
Yep, it's right around 4 points.
Parity.
Yes.
Talk about parity, right?
It's just
4
so
combined
close.
points.
It means that there were 4 people in that first round who were so close to going on to the championship, and then who knows what happens. I mean, it's just...
That's crazy to me. Just 4 points. We've seen in the past, we've had playoff games where it's all like this team got blown out by 20, right? This team got blown out by... And to me, if you lose by double digits in fantasy, that's a blowout.
Yes.
But if you hang 20 on there, that's just domination. So 4 points, so close.
Yeah, and it also just speaks to the fact of like a couple of different breaks, and we'll get into more of these here in just a second, but a couple of breaks happen for teams differently. Yeah. Man, there's a lot of teams that could have won our championship last year. I mean, not those bottom 3 and definitely not Borg, but everybody else.
Not those bottom 3 and not Borg, but everybody else.
Everybody else.
There.
We're all good. We're all good.
There's another fun fact you found out is just kind of shows how close kind of some things were in the league last season.
Yeah, this one blew my mind. So Ryan, he won week 1, which there's not a ton of close games. You have to understand this. Mm-hmm. Ryan won week 1 against Jerry by 2.4 points. So less than 3.
It's a close
less than 2.5.
Yeah.
He won by that. Also, week 8, he won over me by 0.35.
So that, to me, that's the biggest one, right? Because that's 4 yards. So if one of your players gets 4 yards, or if one of his players gets 4 yards less, that's the swap. Now I understand we could play this game if they did, right? That's not the point. The point is just how close it was.
How close that they were, and in that first week, if he had started Hines over Boston Scott, if Jerry had done that, he wins. Ben was talking about there's 4 points on my end, so very, very close. These games are. But if Ryan loses that, just one, he then goes to 8-6, which is the same record that Jordan had. And then if Jordan had more points, so Jordan then slides into the 3rd spot. Ben and Ryan are playing 1-4 that first week. Ben blows out Ryan in that first week. He ends up winning. And then Ryan doesn't win the championship.
Man, and I think either way it looks, I think I still lose the championship.
Yes.
I think no matter what, I was going to lose the championship. So
yes, and so then Jordan, I think Jordan would have won that.
Let me ask you this. This is just off the cuff, right?
Yep.
So who would you have, of the 4 teams that made playoffs, myself, Ryan, Jordan, and Jerry, who did you want to win the championship? I know it's not Jerry, because that's three championships, right?
Yeah. At the time, can I tell you what at the time it was? At the time, it was Ryan.
Sure. Okay.
Now, nobody. I want Jesus to come back. Like I want something to happen.
Everything goes white. Jesus is coming back.
Yeah, right? It's done. I like literally thinking back on it now. I can't think of any of those 4. Maybe Jerry, because you don't hear from Jerry at all.
But he won, that would give him 3.
I know, that's true.
And back to back.
Yeah.
And back to back, right? That's dominant, right?
And then you would have had 2, so you'd have been the same level as me, which you're not. You're still at 1.
I'm the best.
And I'm at 2. Jordan would have held it over our heads forever.
We still wouldn't hear the end of it. If it was Jordan, we still wouldn't hear the end of it.
So
right?
maybe it's still Ryan. It's still Ryan. Okay.
Ryan has been a very quiet, very gracious champion.
I don't know about gracious, just quiet.
Yeah, just quiet.
Quiet. He's not watching this, so we can say whatever we want.
I wanted myself to win. Just so you guys know, I wanted myself.
I wanted to win as well.
Oh, okay. What do we got?
Bork really should win one at some point, but he's just bad at fantasy, so he won't.
If Bork wins the championship, right? Yeah. If he ever won the championship, we would never hear the end of how great the fantasy footballers are, how stupid we are for not listening to them.
I think if Bork ever won, he would have a party for all of us and give us gifts. You know what I mean? Like he would give us gifts because he's just so gracious and kind.
Why are you talking him up? Why are you talking?
I'm the positive. I'm trying to get the mojo here.
Oh, is there something going on? Are you guys going to collude? You guys colluding this year? No, Bork is a great man. Yeah, he's a great person. Plus, I'm just going to throw it out right now just so we can all get excited about this. Because I've heard almost from everybody, even Barry's going to try to come down for the trophy presentation. So I think the whole league. Barry. So the whole league might be there. And Bork is going to smoke us a brisket. Yes, he is. Delicious.
What are the sides?
I don't know. I think we'll kind of make ourselves. I'll just ask people to bring sides.
Can you bring mac and cheese?
I can bring mac and cheese.
With little crumbles on top?
Oh, dude.
Crumbles?
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about?
Those little Cheez-Its.
Oh, man. No, not Cheez-Its. That's gross. Get out of here.
No, that's the best.
That's the best.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Oh, my goodness. All right, hey, so we're going to cover 4 teams today. I'll go through those here in just a second. Those 4 teams are Bork, Ben, you, Christian, and myself. So this is the only show where we're going to try to cover 4 people. We did Ben and myself in this one so that they would go a lot faster, so that we could get it out of the way. We're trying to be mindful of your time. We
know you guys just want to hear about yourselves.
Yes.
Right? We're not dumb. We get that, like, this is about our league. So, and we want to talk about you guys, right?
Yes.
So, as Brandon said, after this, we're not going to tell you who's up next or anything like that because we want you guys to watch all of them. But there'll be 3 next week. Or next show, there'll be 3 next show, and then 3 after that. And then after that, our 4th and final episode of the season is the reveal show, which is live reveal show, which is always a great time.
Yes.
Man, the reveal show was my favorite. Everybody was on there just kind of typing and having fun.
Making fun of each other for who they kept, all those good kinds of things. So here's what we're going to cover first. We're going to go through Bork, and I'm going to tell you some of his records, some of the different things about him, and then we'll cover some other stuff. So
let me get some info up here.
Bork last year went 7-7. So he's one of those 7-7 teams. He is somebody who scraped by, even though he did a terrible job drafting CEH. Like, he still got through. He had some Terry McLaurin in his life. He no longer has Terry McLaurin in his life. For some reason, he traded him. Oh.
We should talk about that trade. Talk about that trade at some point.
At some point. We'll cover trades here in just a little bit. But Bork's coming in. He's got some good players, some good pieces. He got Henry.
Yeah, that was a great snag.
Man.
That was a great snag. Yeah. He's got Henry. He's actually looking pretty good in terms of keeps, right? He's got Henry. We'll talk about that later.
His team will be strong. It will be strong. But his record was 7-7. He had points against was 1901. So 1901 against him, and then scored 1997. So good amount of scoring. But here's the deal:
bottom half of the league, though. Right?
Yeah, 6. Yeah, so right there in the middle. But the 1901 is the lowest points against for anyone. And so he had the lowest points against.
God loves him. Jesus loves Bork.
So what I think we can glean from this is Bork should not have been 7-7. He got super lucky. So just remember that, Bork, as you're kind of going through. So also we're going to cover our man crush. So this is one person on the team that we love, somebody that we would either love to have or just a player that we just really enjoy. And so somebody from that team. So why don't you take the first man crush?
My man crush all comes from, like, mine is, like, not necessarily who I would keep on your team, although I would keep this person. But it's really people I enjoy watching. It's Deebo Samuel. I love Deebo. I was so sad that he just couldn't get healthy last year, right? But I really love Deebo. I love his game. I really enjoy receivers that are monsters at yard after catch, right?
He's like a running back, essentially, as a receiver.
He is. I mean, he's a monster after yard after catch. There's a lot of reasons to like different receivers. Some receivers are like route running technicians, right? Robert Wood, route running technician. Deebo's just one of those guys that he's got a short radius, route tree, but it doesn't matter because he's so fun to watch.
Yes.
Yards after catch. He's awesome.
Yeah. Mine is Michael Thomas, and so Michael Thomas is one of those guys. Slam boy. He is electric. He's got the right build. He's got good hands. I mean, he's just he is an all around great receiver. I know there's some questions about who the quarterback's going to be, all that, but who's wide receiver number 2 there? I mean, it's
Traquan or
I know it's just like it's Galloway, desolate, right? And you got Alvin Kamara is the wide receiver number 2 there. But I just think he's a fun player. He's fun to watch. He stirs things up, so you never know what's going to happen with him. So
he's a monster.
He's my man crush for Bork.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to MT, just watching the Saints. I love the Saints. They're a fun team to watch, right? I'm looking forward to watching how Sean Payton uses them. Because if you look at MT, he's so consistent. Last year's an anomaly, and it's really because he's unhealthy, right? So, great trade. I think that was a cool trade between both those guys. But, MT. What do we got?
Next up, we have keep, drop, trade. So instead of going through all of your keepers and wasting time doing that and then kind of stepping on the keeper reveal show, we're going to do one player we would keep, one player we would drop, and then one player we would trade. So
and tell them about the keeper. Tell them our mindset behind the keeper.
Yeah, obviously we're not going to put Dalvin Cook down. You're going to keep Dalvin Cook. So this is somebody who is kind of in that place of like, should we keep him? Could we trade him? They're not like locked and loaded. You're not going to trade that person, or there's no way that you would give them up. There's no way that you drop them. So just kind of like those questionable, kind of in the middle type people there. So
there we go.
Our keep for this one is DeAndre Swift.
Yeah. He's a good keep. I think most people watching this are like, wait, of course they're going to keep Swift. But, I look at Swift and he's got – the reason why he's such a great keep is he's got the transition tag, right? I can't believe – do you remember, like, he was the first person nominated, and I can't believe nobody went after him.
Yeah, I think everybody was just gun shy. Everybody's like, I don't want to spend my money right now, all that. We thought,
it was like CEH
was going to come out first, and everybody's shell-shocked. Plus, I mean, the price that he gets to keep him at, the $16 or whatever it is, like it's just kind of a no-brainer keep in terms of that.
And like Barry and Christian had the weirdest draft strategies last year.
Yes.
Right? It was, Christian's first ever, so he had no idea what was happening, right?
Yeah.
And then Barry, he had some type of weird plan that he was working.
Yes. My drop for Bork, or our drop for Bork, is Devontae Parker. Bro.
Why would you drop him?
It's just time to move on. First of all, there's lots of questions about Tua, and then there's questions like they brought in other skilled receivers, and he just disappears way too much. Like Devontae Parker had one good season, so it's time to move on. You held on to him last year. Now's the time to drop him. You got other better keeps. Move on.
Yeah. I mean that's pretty good. I mean he's going to be pretty cheap, right? He'd be a pretty cheap keep, but I would agree with you. It's time to let go of Parker.
Our trade, which is probably the most questionable of all the things that we put on here, is CEH.
Yeah, CEH is somebody that we both target as a great trade running back, right? I mean, he paid a ton for him, but that was last year, right? So there's this weird philosophy that some people have, like, I paid this much money for him, but that was last year, right? And that season's done, right? And so you're only paying what his cost is this year. I think CEH would be intriguing for certain people, so that's the guy I would trade. And
he's getting tons and tons of buzz now, which is so weird. It happened last year, but it's just that Kansas City, like, if he falls off this year, if he doesn't have a great year this year, he has no value. And they're going to go find somebody else to come in. I mean, like, if he doesn't produce this year, you're taking all the chances. He's being talked up right now. There's a lot of people in our league that need running backs, and so I think they would be willing to give up a pretty penny to get him. So I would trade CEH.
Yeah, I would move him too because I think that hype train's going to take over and you can get good value off of him.
All right, so this is a little self-serving here, but we want to let you know we're going to give you some trade ideas. We want to try to help you along in the process, just to think through some different things. What did people from a different lens see? What would they suggest that you look at? And so just try to get some trades going. Now, Bork is a great trader. He's active. He's active. He's willing. So we're just doing this for each and every team. But Bork, good job trading.
Yeah.
All right. What's your Bork trade?
My Bork trade would be take CEH because that's the guy we said he should trade. Right?
Yep.
And take $15 and CEH and try to go get Stephon Diggs. Right? Because I am not a person that likes to move a running back for a wide receiver, but we're talking about Stephon Diggs. We're talking about a very young, in his prime receiver, one of the best route runners, one of the best athletes, with a quarterback that can hurl the ball. And so if you could, I'm not saying Jeremy would do this, but if you could take $15 and CEH, which would be enticing for me if I own Diggs, right, and go get Diggs, man, that'd be powerful.
Yeah, Jeremy gets some running back depth, which we have always said running backs are hard to find, and he gets a little bit of extra money to go into the draft. It's always fun to have money in the draft. I think that's at least an intriguing one. Mine would be, this is where I said self-serving earlier, mine would be CEH, go get Woods and Ayuk. And so you get
Ayuk.
Yep, you get your boy Woods, pair with Stafford, and then you can come in, you can get Ayuk, who's a young receiver. Debo is constantly hurt. You like that San Francisco offense. Now you have this opportunity to get this young and upcoming. The breakout year for wide receivers is year 2. That's historically has been thought of as year 3, but recent analytics
are coming in. They're coming in and they're a lot more developed, right? And these offenses are wide open. I personally, you and I have talked about this a lot. I love Woods. I have no idea why it's so hard for people to look at Woods and understand that he is one of the best receivers in the game, period, in the real game of NFL, and that this dude is a consistent low-end WR1, at worst, a consistent high-end WR2. The dude just gets it done.
Yep. And then you're getting off of CEH. So.
And you got Stafford hurling into him now?
Oh.
Cha.
Imagine, they're going to have a good quarterback.
I know. What is that going to be like? And we all know that Bork, like, when he sees Stafford, he gets, like his heart pitter-patters a little bit,
just,
right?
Tug on his heartstrings. All right, we're going to move on to Ben next. Okay, Ben.
Yeah.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
You excited? You nervous? How do you feel about it?
I'm a little bit nervous because whoever you say I've got to keep, trade, and drop, that's what I've got to do.
You have to. That's part of the rules.
Did we not tell you guys this?
Yeah. You have to do that.
Yeah.
All right, so Ben ended up second place last year. Is that right?
I know. I think I won.
I think it was second place. But you did have the best regular season record. So you went 11-3. Your points against were 19-14. So one of the lower points against, but that's just kind of how it works whenever you have a dominating team. And then points for 22-59. That's 100 more points than anybody else scored. So you scored really high. You had week 2 and week 3. Both of them you scored above 200 points. Week 2 you scored like 246, I believe. You scored a ton of points.
It was a good year, except it wasn't a good year. That's all I can really say. It's heartbreaking to think about. I will say this, though. Anytime you're winning, it's fun in fantasy. Fantasy is just fun, period. Whether you're winning or losing, because if you're losing, you can think about building.
In our league.
In our league, right? It's sucking a redraft. But it's really fun when you're winning, and you're winning by a lot. Yep. And so last year was a blast. I never doubted that I was going to not win the championship game until I lost the championship game, right?
Yep.
You had to deal with me. You heard me every day tell you how good my team was.
All the time. That's why I partially didn't root for you in the championship. I was like, I just can't do this. All right, my man crush. You're not doing man crush, are you? I'm just doing man crush.
You do the man crush.
My man crush, and you can speak to this player too as well. My man crush, obviously, you could very easily talk about Kamara. You could not Zeke because he's fat. You can talk about Aaron Jones because he's so explosive and so much fun.
He is now?
Yeah. My man crush is AJ Brown.
Oh man,
that dude is so much fun with the ball in his hands, and you would look at him and say like he's lucky to get these long catches, but yet he continually does it. Yeah. And so it's not luck, it's just skill. He has this way of finding the seam. Talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just what you said. He has the way of finding the seam. He's a yards after catch monster. The dude is, for his size, knows how to run routes. He's just really physical. I love him. I love him. He's really one of those players that I'm probably not going to move for at least a year or two. I mean, who knows what kind of deals I get offered, though.
Yes.
But he's just that fun. I'm with you. And I can remember very specifically his rookie season. Jordan was really high on him. He was always saying, I'm going to pick him up. I'm going to pick him up. I'm going to pick him up. And you know what? I picked him up.
You got him.
I picked him up. He's mine.
I wish Jordan would tip me off like that. Like, hey,
dude,
I'm going to pick up
you know what? I really do. AJ Brown was I was shocked he didn't draft him. He was really high on him all year.
So you would say that Jordan has a man crush on him as well.
He doesn't have a man crush on AJ Brown, right?
It's good. All right, keep, trade.
You sound like me.
You sound
like me.
So my keep, I did this for Ben. It would be weird if he did it for himself. My keep was Prescott.
Yep.
Dak Prescott.
Yep.
Reason being, he could put up 1 billion points. That offense is scary. It's good. The defense is not going to be good.
Yep.
And so there could be just 1 million points coming from him. And it's your team. This is fantasy football. It's supposed to be fun.
Yep.
And Zeke's going to be fat and slow, so you need a cowboy who's going to be explosive and great.
Dak was so much fun to watch last year. I mean, he's just a fun player to watch, right?
Yes.
So when you have your favorite team and a great player on your favorite team, it's usually somebody as a homer you want to keep. And like I said, he's great, so it doesn't hurt me. It's not like Bork going out there to try to get Lions all the time. They're just bad on a bad team.
Yes. My drop is James Robinson.
Okay, yeah.
Reason being, it's just so cloudy in that backfield. Yeah. You don't know what his workload's going to look like. And a lot of this comes back to the fact that you have 6 great keepers that you could keep, more than 6 great keepers that you could keep. One of those being Dak Prescott.
Yeah,
and so if I had a choice between James Robinson, I know you like the running back depth, but if I had a choice between him and Dak, it's like man, you got assured points. You know that quarterback is set, and I hope you drop him. I really do because I want to go draft him.
Yeah,
but
he'll be. Somebody will pick up James if I do drop him, because one reason why I might keep him is he's going to be cheap, like $3.
He'll be cheap,
right? And the dude's going to touch the ball about 10 to 15 times. That's hard to find late in the season, right?
It is.
That's what you keep Robinson around as late for the season. But if I do drop him, somebody picks him up, they're going to have a good late season RB.
Well, and their offense is going to be better. You would assume he's going to be the goal line back. Yeah. I mean, you go get Trevor Lawrence. Hopefully it's better. And so, I can see the case for keeping him, but he's on a drop for me. Trade. You ready for this?
Yeah, I am.
Calvin Ridley.
Oh, man.
And now there's a lot of this comes into roster construction because Calvin is going to cost a lot of money. $35 right now?
Yeah, about $35. Yeah, about $35. And, it's like you said, I'm going to have to make tough choices no matter what. That's just what the beauty of our league is that it's really hard to keep all of your players.
Yes.
I don't have anyone I can transition tag, unfortunately, but yeah, Ridley blew up last year as we were kind of waiting for him to do, and he's going to be too expensive.
Well, you know that Christian and Barry both love wide receivers, so they'll probably overpay.
Nothing. Like that's the hard thing is I can't trade with those guys because what are they going to give me?
It's true. You are kind of in this precarious position. Like you can't trade a $35 player for another $35 player.
There's basically like 4 teams that I can really move with, right? Because I whether I move Ridley or I'm going to have to move one of my big guns. That's the point there. So hey, hit me up.
So to that point, you ready to hear my trade idea?
Yeah, I'd love to hear it.
I'm thinking you've got Jones, who's in his last year.
Yeah, great player.
You've got Ridley.
Yep.
Expensive player, great player. Combo.
Yeah, combo up.
Trade up. So
who would you go
Jones and Ridley for Cook.
Let me tell you something. This is what's so funny. Let me tell you something. Is in the stimulus season, during the stimulus trade season, that was exactly my thinking. I hit up Jeremy for Jones and Ridley for CMC, and he's like, no, and I don't blame him. It's CMC, right?
Yeah, I get
CMC,
it.
right?
Cook's hard too.
And like, here's the thing for Jeremy's team. Legitimately, he's got a ton of keepers.
Totally,
right?
He doesn't need a combo.
So he's not looking to multiply, right? He's looking for championship thrust, right? And then I hit up Jerry because Cook's the next guy I wanted, right?
Yes.
And Jerry turned me down.
Well, here's why I looked at Jerry's roster. I'm not sure who his 6 keepers are.
No, that's what I was thinking.
It's kind of questionable, but yet you get a solid top 5 running back because he's been top 5 running back
5 2 years in a row.
2 years in a row.
And never preseason consensus there, right? He's never there.
What did Ridley end up last year?
I think he was like I think he ended up like 7, 7 or 8.
But
right?
target share should go up. So projected top 5 wide receiver as well. You get 2 top 5 at their position, and then now you're moving forward. And I mean that's a scary team. But here's what I'll tell you: I bet that you could trade both of those guys for Derrick Henry.
No.
I think Bork would do that. Bork got so excited. He's like, "What'd you do it?"
Bork would be so excited. So here's the thing with those type of trades now. Now that ship for me has sailed because stimulus is gone.
Yeah.
So I can't afford to bring on like a $50, $60 player, right? I've already got 2 50+ players, right? So it makes no sense to me to do anymore. So that like restricts my trade window. But I am going to trade.
Here's the deal. The stimulus time is so important to your team. Some of you guys need to do research before you get into the stimulus season. And I get it. I didn't trade this year, but it was a barren wasteland.
It was. Everybody complained about that, right? There were some good trades. The Bork and Hanson's trade made me really happy. I thought it was
Lockett
a really cool
and Juju.
Lockett and Juju did not excite me.
No, did not excite me.
But MT for Scary Terry was a really fun trade.
That is a fun trade.
Yeah, it's fun to talk about. It's fun to think about. It's going to be fun for both those players, for both those owners like Hanson and Bork, right? I love it when I see 2 good players move. I do not like it when I see Lockett and Juju go.
No.
But hey, do what you got to do for your team. Those trades can make a difference.
They can. And some of you that are thin, those are opportunities to trade. I mean, you should have been hitting Ben up because I'm looking at him going, gonna have to trade one of these guys. And I don't know that they would have enough to get it from you, but like I'd throw the kitchen sink at you.
Anyways. Throw the kitchen sink at me.
Yeah. Next up, we have Christian.
Oh, dude.
The married man.
This is going to be such a fun.
Do you know Christian's getting married this weekend? I think this will come. This will come after. Words, but
Christian, congratulations!
Congratulations, man.
Yeah, I did not know Texas was allowing same-sex marriages yet. So, I mean, thank you, congratulations, Christian.
Do you think for like a wedding gift, someone could give him like a good fantasy team? Is that possible? Like, here, I've gifted you good players.
That is really good. So this is, there's one distinction that I will give to Christian, right? Because his team is awful, right? But hey, it doesn't matter. He's a fun person to play with, and he's trying to build, right? New guy in the league. So this is what I'll say. The Confused Manly Man League is full of really good competition in fantasy and full of very handsome men. And Christian is probably the most handsome.
He is very handsome.
Dude, yeah.
That Val, one lucky
handsome.
Girl.
The dude is handsome.
guy. I don't know. What is it?
Lucky guy.
Hey, but seriously, though, the Julio for Juju trade
that was awful.
Last year? No, but that was...
Oh, no, that was great.
Yeah, for him to receive Julio and get rid of Juju, that was a
For him, that was
good trade.
For Jerry, that was awful. But you know what's so funny is Jerry still made playoffs.
Mojo.
And, it's like if Jerry's going to move you somebody mid-season, just understand this. That person's not going to play healthy. There's going to be something wrong with that player. If Barry or Jerry move you a player mid-season, you're in trouble.
All right, so he went 5-9 last year.
That's a good record.
That's not good, by the way. 7 teams finished 7-7 or above, so you were not one of those. 5-9. Points against were 20.99, which is second in the league, so the second most points scored against him. And the points for was 18.60. In case you're wondering, that's not good. That is second to last in terms of points scored. And you can probably guess who was last. I don't want to ruin it right now because they're coming later on.
They're coming later. So
in one of our episodes.
Save that.
But we'll save that. But number 9. So he just didn't score points, and he got lots of points scored against him. So it's a really good recipe. It's surprising actually he got to 5 wins.
I like it when I see like these really bad teams that somehow did get to 5 wins, right? But these really bad teams that score like only themselves score 1,800, right? 1,860. Yes. I think that's the number you said. But have over 2,000 points scored against them. It's phenomenal, right? It's really amazing. And to think that he still managed 5 wins. I don't know how he did it.
Now, here's
good coaching.
Here's one interesting. Week 7 pulls off the upset and beats Jeremy.
Oh, I remember that because they were talking some smack.
They were talking smack beforehand.
What was the score of that one?
I don't have that listed down. But he ended up winning. And then in week 10, do you know who he beat?
Who? Not me.
Ben.
Not me. I don't think I lost a game.
His first 2 wins. He only had 2 wins in the first 10 weeks. And one was against Jeremy, and one was against Ben. Both playoff teams. Christian, you might be a playoff player next year. You never know.
Hey, dude,
you never know.
You do never know. You don't know. You just never know.
Hey, will you share your man crush?
Oh yeah, dude. Did we do one for everyone?
Christian? We haven't done one for Christian yet. Go ahead.
All right.
You mean tell you?
No. Let me look at your thing because I'm lost on mine. Oh yeah. I don't know why I didn't remember that, man. Because he's such an amazing player to watch in real life, Julio.
And you're getting cheap this year,
dude. The Jet, dude. Julio. And what's so crazy to me is like how discounted that guy is. Like it's like people think like, oh, Julio's just he's too old. It's like, dude, no, he's amazing. He's one of the most freakish receivers we've ever seen. He's one of the greatest receivers I've ever watched in my life.
Ever.
He's a route running technician. He's fast. He's tall. He's got amazing hands. The dude is awesome.
He's Calvin Johnson and Julio. Those are 2 of the best receivers I think I've ever seen. Off the top of my head. I might be wrong.
But watching them run routes and everything like that, it's just amazing to watch Julio so consistent year after year. I love Julio. Man crush on him. I can't wait to watch him and AJB. Yeah. I can't wait to watch Tennessee.
I was hearing Raheem Morris. He was talking the other day, and he was talking about he was a wide receiver coach in Atlanta. Yeah. And he'd never been a wide receiver coach. He's a defensive guy, but they needed him to step in and do it. And they were like, how are you going to do this? He's like, it's going to be pretty easy. And we're like, good job, Julio. Like, that's it. That's all you got to say is good job, Julio.
That is all you got to do.
Yeah.
Julio, man.
And if you sign up, like if I gave you 8 weeks of Julio at his current price, you'd sign up for that.
I take it all day.
Take it all day. I think it's like $15 or something. Like it's super cheap. He's discounted. It's crazy.
Julio is going to if when he's healthy, and when he's healthy, right? I'm not going to say he's unhealthy or anything like that because I think he's working hard to be healthy. He's going to tear it up, dude.
Yes.
Because he's an efficiency guy.
Yes.
Right? He doesn't need mass volume. Who's your guy? Who do you have?
Devontae Adams. I'm not scared about the Aaron Rodgers thing. I think he will be there. There might be some like down, but it doesn't matter. Whoever you put back, he's so dominant. He's so good. I love watching that guy play football. Yeah. He is a fun receiver to watch. Yeah. He's just gotten better and better. Somebody that just continually gets better. I love some Devontae
You know what I like
Adams.
about Devontae? This is an interesting thing to me. He is one. He's a really big guy, right? He just doesn't seem like he's a really big guy, but when you see him on the field, the dude's a monster, right?
Yes.
But his release off the line, when you watch him release off the line, it is so smooth, right?
Yes.
It doesn't matter. Like, nobody bumps him because he's big.
Yes.
So they give him cushion, and his release just sets up everybody. It's just really cool to watch those technicians.
He is. All right, so our keep drop trade for Christian. Keep is Davante Adams. Why?
Well, I mean, the dude's a monster, right? And for some reason, he is not going as the WR1. He is my WR1. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to play. I think when Aaron Rodgers is whether he's playing or not, it doesn't matter. Like, there's only two options on that Green Bay Packer team offensively: Aaron Jones and Davante Adams. And one of them is going to have a monster target share, and that's Davante Adams. He's going to have like a 30-40% target share, and he's just that good.
I think, too, when we were writing this down, part of what we were thinking was, right now his trade value is not as high as it should be.
No,
like, you try to approach people with Adams and be like, oh, I'm worried about it. Unless you want to come to me. If you want to trade him to me, I'm great with that. But I think you keep him because maybe his stock is down just a little bit right now because of the Rodgers stuff, not because of anything him. You know you're going to deal with injuries. He's going to be out a couple of weeks, but all the rest of those weeks are definitely worth it. So he's our keep.
Dude, we did a dynasty, and Adams fell to the third round. Mid-third round.
Yeah. Nuts.
I couldn't believe it, right? Just watching it.
I was just hoping he would get to me.
Just fall to me. Yeah,
yes.
Insane.
Our drop, Jarvis Landry.
Yeah, dude, it's time for that guy to go. I've since he's left Miami, he just has not been consistent. When he was in Miami, he was a target share monster.
You just don't hold on to him. You don't know when to play him. You don't know when not to play him. Like, it's time. Your team is thin, and I get it. You might want to hold on to Jarvis Landry because you love receivers. Yeah. Just drop him.
He's a W. He's like, I get that, like, he's a safe, like, low end WR2, but you don't want to keep that.
Yes.
Right. Go into the draft and see if you can get somebody else.
Our trade is D Hop.
Yeah, D Hop. Well, maybe not after today, but
maybe
not. Right. But to me, D Hop is the perfect guy to trade on your team. You need a running back. Like, Christian needs a running back in the worst way. Right? If you're going to trade eitade Adams or D Hop, so you're going to have to move somebody good, right?
Yes.
Look, this is just coming from me, and I overpay for people when I trade. Like, I have no problem admitting that.
If you want somebody to go,
if you want somebody good, right? But like a lot of the bottom tier teams, what you guys got to understand is, like, you can't hoard your best players and think somebody's going to trade you somebody elite for your junk. Like, you're going to have to give up a really, really good player to receive a really good player. And you might have to overpay for him.
And the beauty of our league is if you're in the bottom tier, you should be building. So go target young guys, or go target, like, hey, they may not be an all-star like Davante Adams is right now, but I can get these pieces and I can start to build, because it's not just about having the best players, the top level players. It's also having, like, a good roster across the board.
D-Hop has a great name too, right?
So great.
And I just think Adams is the superior receiver. I think you already got Julio, and so you just move D-Hop and try to get the best bargain you can. And it's okay if you overpay.
Do you think D-Hop has lost a step?
I think D-Hop has downgraded in quarterback play. I'll say that. I think Watson was a better quarterback
than Kyler.
Yeah. I think Watson delivered a better ball.
He can see him better. That's for sure. I mean, not to make short jokes.
No, he can't. No, he really can't. He has better vision. I think in terms of real football, the strength of Kyler is his ground game.
Yeah.
Right. Nobody's sitting there saying, like, he's really, he's got a good arm. I'm not saying that, but it's his ground game that sets him apart. But D-Watt, dude, that guy, his arm's a cannon, right? And he was a great quarterback. He's never gonna play again because he's a pervert.
Did you see the Eagles are talking about trading for him?
Dude, they should.
I've heard multiple people talking about the Eagles.
Are they really?
Yeah.
No, I picked up Hurts in a dynasty.
They have three. They have three first-round draft picks, and you could see them.
I picked up Hurts in a dynasty, dude. I don't want Hurts to go to the Texans.
Wait, yeah. Well, I don't want. I don't want to. If Watson ever plays again, I don't want him playing in Philly, because that means Cowboys not playing.
I had no idea that was happening.
Okay, so our trade ideas here.
We got some good ones.
Yeah, do you want to kick us off, or you want me to go? I got it up.
You go, because I'm
D-Hop for Eckler.
Yeah.
Eckler's starting to move up, so this made more sense when I initially wrote it down. But if you could go get Eckler, or if you could get a running back in that range, maybe a round 2 type running back, man, go get a running back.
Yeah.
You already got Adams. You need some parity across your team, and man, I think Eckler could have a monster season. So yes, you may have to give some money now at this point to go get it, but dude, go make it happen.
Yeah. So even
because Ryan needs money too.
He does.
Well, sorry,
he does. No. I agree. I think that's a great one. I mean, if you could get your hand on Eckler, that would be a great value for you. I mean, you're giving up a lot of skin. You're giving up D-Hop, right? You're not cheaply doing it, but. Man, maybe you just reach out there, Christian. You see if that's something. I don't even know if Christian would do it, but you just reach out and you see if that's something you can get done. And if you can, at least you got an RB.
Yeah.
At least you got an RB. So I stupidly did not put down D-Hop in my trade scenario, even though.
Well, no, we don't have to use the player that we agreed on. We're giving lots of ideas. We don't want to just give that one player idea.
This was the idea that I had, and so kind of let me know what you think about this, right? So. Julio plus $10 for Dobbins, for J.K. Dobbins, right? I don't know if that's something that would make sense for Hanson. My thinking for Hanson's point of view would be you're getting a better player now. In my opinion, you're getting a much better player now, and you're getting $10 because if I'm Hanson with Akers going down, I want more money for the draft, right? I want to walk away with two. If I can, 2 of those premium.
And Dobbins is really an unknown commodity.
That's what I was going to say, man. Dobbins for me is Lamar's game is running. And I love Dobbins' talent. But there's a cap, right? There's a cap there. That's basically my point. So
yeah, I think the question being, Julio's definitely a win now type player.
He's a win now player.
He's a win now player. Does Hanson view his team as a win now team?
Yeah.
Especially with Akers going down? Or is he trying to build young talent so you want to hold on to Dobbins? But Go take Julio and try to get a running back.
Julio, Hop, man, trying to move one of those guys with little cash and see if you can go get something. I mean, it's just at least it's a conversation piece, right? Again, I don't know if that makes a lot of sense for, like you just said, for Hanson, who might not be in win now mode, but maybe he thinks he can lock down 2 RBs in the draft. Maybe he
doesn't have to spend the money on Dobbins, and he gets $15, and he gets Julio for a cheap price, and he's like, I'm going to go get Etienne, and I'm going to go get Najee, and I'm going to go get these running backs, and I'm going to load up, and then I'm going to see what I can do moving forward.
Or maybe he then takes some of that saved cash and he goes and tries to buy himself a running back, right? Tries to buy a running back. Go after Josh Jacobs or Mix or something like that.
And that's the whole thing is, like, don't think of these as one-to-one things. He can turn around and trade Julio.
Yeah, you take your asset and you keep moving, right? You take your money.
What if you get into week 2 and Julio is bombing out, and then you go hit up Jerry, you go hit up somebody else, you go hit up one of these teams that maybe looks like they're in the top shelf here or is trying to win now. So get the assets. The whole thing is be thinking long term.
Yeah, try to move something. So it's just not an idea to kind of throw that out there. Maybe something, but I just think right now that ultimately what I think for Christian is he's going to have to part with one of his 3 receivers. And if it's Julio, he's going to have to attach money.
Yeah, totally agree. He's on his last legs. He's still great last leg, but he's on his last leg. All right, we're going to finish up with me. This shouldn't take very long.
This will take hours.
Yeah, hours. I just can't wait to talk about my team for hours and hours. Okay, so last year I went 7-7, a respectable 7-7.
Why is it
piecemealed that together? I traded off Gaskins and got back Devin Singletary. Bad trade, by the way, bad trade. I was just trying to get some money. Thought I was done for the season. Saquon got hurt. Sutton got hurt. Chubb got hurt for the first 6 weeks.
I think Montgomery was out for a little bit, wasn't he? Or did he just suck at the beginning?
He just sucked at the beginning. He was terrible. He did great at the end.
Yeah.
But it was piecemeal and the team together.
He actually fueled your run at the end.
Yeah.
Right? He was like the beast behind your run.
And DJ Moore didn't get hot till the end of the year.
Yeah.
Robert Woods was steady, as always.
Yeah.
But just wasn't putting up a ton of points, especially at the beginning of the season. But piecemealed it together. Points, okay, well, this makes sense. I think I finished in 6th place. So points against were 1970.
Yeah.
That's good for 7th.
Okay.
So not a whole lot of points scored against me. And then 1919 is the points that I scored, which is good for 7th as well.
Seven was your number.
7.
Seven was your number. So
that's my number.
So your team, what you needed was a better offense coordinator because your fantasy defense was great. I mean, you were only at the 1970, man. It's good fantasy defense, as Jeremy would say, right? But just brutal fantasy offense.
Points were hard to come by.
You know what's
last
great
year.
is that you still finished 7-7, right? Which makes like me look at Hanson, Barry, and Christian and be like, come on, man.
You got to play the waiver wire.
Come on,
you got to
man.
play it.
Play that waiver.
All right, you man crush.
I have one. Let me look over at your thing over here. I have one. Oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Mine is Nick Chubb. What's not to like about Nick Chubb? Nick Chubb is such a fun player to watch. He's a great running back. I love running backs, right? Love running backs. Love him in Stefanski's offense. Love to see any running back. To me, one of the things I look for in an RB, here's a little secret, is I look for a guy that can house it on any play.
Yeah.
And Chubb is a great in-between-the-tackle runner that can house it on any play. He's really fun to watch. He's
so
really fun to watch. Yeah, he's got quick cuts, and he rolls with hits. He's really fun to watch.
He is my favorite player on my team. But man crush, I also added Justin Herbert.
Oh yeah.
And that's not so much like a keeper type thing. Just it was really fun watching him break out and throw. He throws a beautiful deep ball. Oh man, he's so incredible to watch. Like he's a lot of fun to watch. So
hey,
and I was surprised.
Preseason wise, I didn't think Herbert was gonna be anything.
Me neither.
I thought he was gonna suck.
Yeah, me as well. All right, keep, trade, cut. Keep, drop, trade.
I got you right here. So here would be my keep for your team that might be off the radar is Laviska Shenault. Little Shenault, right? And he's one of those guys I will be watching through training camp, kind of hearing what the beat writers are saying, really seeing what's going on. But right now, everything I read from the minis was that he's dearly loved there. That it looks like they're starting to game plan him up. And why wouldn't they? He's an athletic freak, and I like athletic freaks. So Shenault to me would be a cheap keep. My trade would be DJ Moore. Not that I don't think DJ Moore is fantastic. I actually think he is extremely fantastic. That's why I would trade him, because you're very deep at receiver. And DJ Moore, to me, has probably the most name power there. And I would try to parlay him for something else because, like I said, you got a lot of receivers. You got Woods, you got Sutton, you got Higgins, you got Shenault. Might be able to save a little bit of money there. What do you think about DJ Moore?
Man, I think DJ Moore is very, very talented. Mm-hmm. And I think he has had to piecemeal quarterback together, mm-hmm. and there are times when they don't look his way, when he's obviously open. You go back and watch the film, and there's times where his quarterbacks would key in on one person. And so he hasn't played with a great quarterback yet. Not saying that Sam Darnold is, but Sam Darnold also will be able to get the ball down the field more, and he excels short, long. I mean, he can put the ball in his hands, and he can make something happen with it. I think DJ Moore is great. It's partly why I traded for him. Just watching the film, think he's a great player. Yeah. Hoping that the offense can put it together.
Yeah, I honestly think Darnold is going to be successful there.
And your drop?
My drop is Courtland Sutton. Sutton is the classic case of, I think he was going to erupt and go crazy last year, and then he injured himself. And I just think Drew Lock digressed because of that, right? And I don't think Drew Lock's a great quarterback.
Teddy Bridgewater.
No. Yeah. And I don't think that Denver has the mind like Joe Brady does to be able to make Bridgewater better than he actually is. So I would drop Sutton. He's a great depth piece though, but it's a hard decision. He'd probably be pretty cheap, but I'd still drop him.
It's good. Okay, what is your trade idea for me?
I think I had a really good one. Oh, I have a great one for you. Yeah.
I saw
so yeah. This is funny too because you traded away this guy, right? And
I traded everybody. What are you talking about? I traded everybody.
I've heard you lament this trade so many times. So this is, to me, makes a lot of sense for you to go contact Ryan and to try to go get him. So to me, I would take DJ Moore and I would trade him for Myles Gaskin. And $2, right? I don't think Ryan has the money to be able to add that $2 in.
He does.
So it would have to be an even for even. Here's the thing that would be enticing for you is you get Myles Gaskin back, who you traded away.
I miss him so much.
And you add to your RB depth. He's an RB2, right? He's not going to be an RB1 or any of those type of things. He's an RB2. But that's great depth to have for your team. And obviously for Ryan, the thing that is enticing is DJ Moore is better than Myles Gaskin, right? He's just better. And so I think for you, it's an RB depth move. And like I said, you're really deep at receiver. So it lets you strengthen your running back core even more so.
Yeah. I hate Myles Gaskin. So that's the only.
I hate Myles Gaskin too.
He's such a jerk now. I know. Just because of the trade. I think he did so much with the opportunity he was given, and I like him as a running back.
Yeah.
I think he's an average running back who has made the best out of what he possibly could. Out of his situation, but now I hate him because Ryan got him from me last year. I just needed some money, and I was like, he's not going to hold on all year. Guess what? He held on all year. I was like, he's going to get traded in the offseason, or they're going to draft somebody in the offseason. Guess what? They didn't draft anybody in the offseason. No. So, I don't know. That offense hopefully will be better. Tua is a question mark, but we'll see.
That's a smart team. And here's another reason why I hate Miles. It's because he blew up on championship weekend. He blew up on championship. This dude is putting together like 13, 14, 15 points every single week. Championship weekend, I think he dropped like a 40 bomb.
It was nuts. It was crazy. Yeah, that's another L for you. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching. We kept it under an hour, so you should be very, very excited about that. We focused specifically in on the teams and our league, and so hopefully that draws you all in. We'd love for you to just message down here below. Let us know what you think. Let us know your takes on teams or trades or trade ideas. Guys, our league is built around trades. Be sure that you're finding creative ways to do that, and don't send out crappy trades.
Yeah, and please reply to trade, or even like a simple no would do, right? Simple no, I don't want that trade.
Unless it's Jerry. I'm never responding to you again.
Unless it's Jerry. It's going to be a fun year. Just remember this. You're all bad at fantasy, but somehow some of you win. What can I say? God is good.
Yeah.
And he blesses people. You guys are just fantasy blessed, which is better than my situation, which is being brilliant and handsome but unable to win.
Cursed, some people might call that. All right, y'all have a great week. We'll see you again soon.
Let's go, boys!
Episode 2.
Let's go, boys!
Let's go, boys.